But there is nothing better than coming up with a story, delivering the story, and that story leads to a change in either policy or in somebody's life.
The job role is not mainly doing interviews, but sometimes it does happen.
Yeah.
Does it like excite you a lot, or you choose that specific guest then for it?
Yes, as editor you went on doing less journalism on the ground, and I really miss that, because I think nothing beats this kind of interaction, of telling someone's story. It could be positive, it could be negative, but I always believe, I was as a journalist, before you interview somebody, do some research about that person, see what that person is likely to respond, to be able to either counteract or maybe compliment what he's saying. And yes, I do miss being out there and interviewing people. I do it less and less. I wish I could do it more.
But when it happens, it has a huge impact, I would say.
Yes, of course. You know, I'm in a bit of a privileged position where I can choose who I want to interview. But I mean, you know, then again, you need to give the chances to journalists who are doing a very good job over here.
When I observe like today's world, I think a lot of young people, especially, they struggle to kind of decide who to be. Would you have any advice for them?
Who to be?
Like what career to choose, or because sometimes I think they lean maybe towards what is trendy. They kind of forget who they kind of really are.
My generation is different to obviously the generation. I've been in journalism for very long. Been in it for 25 years now, and that is unheard of nowadays for young people to even think about 25 years. I did not get into journalism. I got into it by accident. You know, I just had friends who were in journalism. I was just merely contributing to magazines at the time, and I was just literally, you know, somehow lured towards coming for an interview at the Times of Malta. So I didn't know what I was doing, and I got into it quite late, you know. So I think most people do not know what they want to do until they're late, in their mid-20s. But I always try to do something where you have a passion. It's very easy to be drawn into certain industries which pay a lot of money, but render no satisfaction, where you work like a robot. So my advice is, try to do something where you feel fulfilled by the end of the day.
If you would have someone 20 years old telling you, sir, I would like to start, I would like to be a journalist, would you say, give it a go, or?
I would always advise somebody to give it a go, yes. But I would also give them warnings. It is very easy to fall into the cliche of, oh, I get into journalism because I want to interview the stars, and because I'm gonna, you know, be talking to the Prime Minister and on one day and being on TV and all that. Yes, that is part of the game, but most of the time you have to face deadlines, you know, pretty tough conditions. You are going to be trolled. In this day and age, unfortunately, most of our journalists are facing these attacks online, and you have to grow a thick skin. If you don't grow a thick skin, you're going to find it very difficult to survive in this industry. But I will definitely urge people to get into journalism. I know a lot of people have been put off because of what happened with Daphne Caruana Galizia, and I know there is fear. And there are moments where a number of us were genuinely scared doing our job. But I don't think that should let us dissuade us, because the minute we, you know, cave in to the thugs, to the bullies, to the shitheads out there, we're going to be in a bigger hole.
Obviously, the job comes with, I think it's like a lot of serious things happening behind. Is there any time for some fun during the day or at work?
Oh yes, yes. Sometimes there's a lot of humor in the newsroom. Sometimes a lot of black humor, and I think it's something we use because sometimes to cope with the stresses of the day. Remember, over here on a daily basis, we're encountering people who are facing suffering, injustice, you know, that there's a lot of disgusting things happening in this country, and you are there reporting on a daily basis, and sometimes it's very dark. So yes, we have to resort to humour in the newsroom, and now especially with the team we have here, there's a really good vibe in the newsroom, and there's a good team spirit.
To finish on the positive note, is there like a one big dream that didn't come true yet for you and you?
For me, oh my God, how many do you have all day? Yes, I would want to have been a rock star, I would have wanted to be a poet, I would have wanted to be
an actor as well at some point.
Yeah, but possibly my biggest is, my hobby on the side is theatre. I'm involved in theatre, I've been directing plays for 25 years, I've written last 4 years I've written 2 plays which have been staged. One of them was about Daphne Caruana Galizia. I would love to do that on a more full-time basis if I could, but you can't do it here in Malta.
Yes.
But I do theatre because it gives me an avenue to spread my wings beyond journalism, and I like tackling stories which can be taken from the newsprint to a stage. And that is, I find that very powerful. I think theatre and journalism are a perfect match, and that's why I do it. So yes, if you had to tell me my biggest dream, it's probably to do theatre full time.
Perfect. So thank you very much for your time.